Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Stella Tennant, the 17th of December 1970 to the 22nd of December 2020, was a British supermodel, artist, and fashion icon renowned for her aristocratic elegance, distinctive androgynous beauty, and lasting influence on the fashion industry. She became one of the most prominent faces of the 1990s and early 2000s, bridging the worlds of haute couture and avant-garde style with effortless sophistication. Early life and background. Stella Tennant was born in Scotland, in the Scottish Borders, to the Honourable Tobias Tennant and Lady Emma Cavendish. She was the granddaughter of Andrew Cavendish, 11th Duke of Devonshire, and Deborah Mitford, one of the famous Mitford sisters. Raised on her family's estate, Tennant grew up in a creative, cultured environment that valued art and individuality. She studied sculpture at Winchester School of Art before turning to modeling, a field she entered somewhat by accident. Modeling career. Tennant's modeling career began in 1993 when she sent photographs of herself with a nose ring to a British magazine. Her unconventional look, aristocratic yet punk-inspired, immediately caught the attention of the fashion world. She was soon discovered by Stephen Meisel and became one of Vogue's favorite faces. She rapidly rose to international prominence, appearing on the covers of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and ID, and walking the runways for top fashion houses such as Chanel, Versace, Alexander McQueen, Jean-Paul Gaultier, and Burberry. Karl Lagerfeld, the creative director of Chanel, made Tennant one of his muses in the mid-1990s, praising her elegance and timelessness. Her tall, statuesque frame and sculptural features made her an ideal fit for both classic couture and cutting-edge editorial work. Style and influence. Tennant's look redefined beauty standards in the fashion industry. With her short hair, piercing blue eyes, and androgynous style, she represented a shift from traditional glamour toward modern, intellectual chic. She became part of a new wave of British models who embodied individuality and authenticity. Her ability to merge refinement with rebellion made her a favorite among designers seeking to capture the evolving spirit of the 1990s, minimalist yet bold, aristocratic yet subversive. Later career and personal life. Although Tennant stepped back from full-time modeling to focus on her family, she continued to work selectively with major brands and designers well into the 2010s. She was the face of campaigns for Hermes, Chanel, and Burberry, and appeared in numerous anniversary and retrospective fashion events celebrating the supermodels of her era. She married photographer and aristocrat David Lasnet in 1999, and the couple had 4 children together. Tennant divided her time between fashion work and life on her family's farm in the Scottish Borders, where she also pursued environmental and sustainability projects. Death and legacy. Stella Tennant passed away on the 22nd of December 2020, just 5 days after her 50th birthday. Her family later confirmed that she had struggled with mental health issues, bringing awareness to an often overlooked topic within the fashion industry. Her death was widely mourned across the fashion world. Designers, photographers, and fellow models remembered her as not only a muse but also a deeply intelligent, kind, and grounded person who balanced fame with humility. Tennant's legacy continues through her timeless imagery, her influence on gender-fluid aesthetics, and her role as a pioneer who redefined what it meant to be a model, elegant, unconventional, and unmistakably herself. Later career and fashion collaborations. Even after her initial rise to fame in the 1990s, Stella Tennant continued to shape the fashion world for nearly 3 decades. Unlike many of her contemporaries who faded from the spotlight, Tennant evolved gracefully, embracing new movements in fashion while remaining true to her distinctive identity. She became known for her long-term relationships with luxury brands. Tennant's collaborations with Chanel and Karl Lagerfeld are particularly legendary. Lagerfeld often described her as modern aristocracy, a woman who could embody Chanel's refined classicism while projecting a distinctly contemporary energy. Her work with Burberry, Hermes, and Calvin Klein further cemented her status as a global icon of effortless style. In 2010, she joined fellow supermodels Naomi Campbell, Claudia Schiffer, and Kate Moss on the runway at the London 2012 Olympics closing ceremony, representing the best of British fashion. Her commanding presence and understated elegance made her a standout in that moment of national pride. Artistic vision and environmental advocacy beyond modeling. Tennant was deeply engaged with art and environmental issues. With a background in sculpture, she maintained a creative perspective on her fashion work, often viewing modeling as a collaborative art form between photographer, designer, and subject. Later in life, she became increasingly focused on sustainability within the fashion industry. She was vocal about the need for more ethical production practices and responsible consumption. Tennant campaigned for reducing waste in fashion and supported initiatives promoting second-hand clothing and recycling materials in design. In 2018, she co-founded Teens for Tomorrow, a sustainability-focused project that encouraged young people to engage with environmental and climate issues. Her advocacy reflected her belief that fashion could be beautiful and responsible, not disposable. Personal life and character. Tennant's personal life reflected her grounded nature despite her high-profile career. She married David Lasnet, a French photographer and osteopath, in 1999. And they had 4 children together: Marcel, Cecily, Jasmine, and Iris. The family lived on a farm in Duns, Berwickshire, Scotland, where Tennant enjoyed country life, gardening, and raising animals. Friends and colleagues often described her as intelligent, curious, and reserved, a private person who valued authenticity over glamour. She was known for her quick wit, warmth, and down-to-earth demeanor. Despite her aristocratic heritage, she eschewed pretension, preferring simplicity and purpose in her everyday life. Mental health and passing. In December 2020, Stella Tennant died suddenly at the age of 50. Her family later shared that she had been struggling with mental health challenges, sparking important conversations within the fashion community about emotional well-being, stress, and the often hidden pressures of fame. Her death was a poignant reminder of the human realities behind the fashion world's dazzling surface. Tributes poured in from across the industry. British Vogue praised her as a true original, while Karl Lagerfeld's successor at Chanel called her one of the most elegant women ever to grace a runway. Legacy and cultural impact. Stella Tennant's influence on fashion continues to resonate. She helped redefine beauty ideals in the 1990s, proving that strength, individuality, and authenticity could be as compelling as traditional glamour. Her androgynous look paved the way for a new generation of models who blurred gender lines and embraced natural, understated elegance. Her legacy is also deeply tied to her environmental consciousness and her insistence on integrity within an often superficial industry. Tennant demonstrated that success could coexist with principle, that one could be both an icon and an advocate. Her portraits and runway moments remain timeless, appearing in retrospectives, museum exhibitions, and fashion archives around the world. Designers still cite her as an inspiration for her clean lines, commanding poise, and quiet defiance of convention. In reflection, Stella Tennant will always be remembered as more than just a model. She was a visionary, an artist, mother, environmentalist, and a symbol of grace and modern femininity. Her life embodied the idea that beauty is not about perfection, but presence and authenticity that radiated from within. influence on future generations of models. Stella Tennant's career carved out a new path for what it meant to be a model. At a time when the fashion industry was still dominated by overtly glamorous, ultra-feminine beauty ideals, Tennant's androgynous style and aristocratic cool challenged conventions. Her short cropped hair, sharp bone structure, and quiet intensity inspired a wave of models who embraced individuality over conformity. Figures such as Edie Campbell, Agnes Dine, Freya Biha Eriksson, and Cara Delevingne have all cited Tennant's work as influential. She showed that models could be intellectual, artistic, and unapologetically themselves, representing not just an image, but an attitude. Her elegance was understated, her beauty unconventional, and her power magnetic. Designers admired her ability to transform. She could embody the sleek sophistication of Chanel, the avant-garde creativity of Alexander McQueen, or the minimal restraint of Helmut Lang with equal ease. She blurred lines between aristocratic grace and punk rebellion, setting a template for a new kind of modern muse. Relationships in the fashion world. Tennant's relationships with photographers and designers were rooted in mutual respect and artistic collaboration. Stephen Meisel, who first photographed her for Vogue Italia, was among the earliest to recognize her unique presence, calling her a model who could project both fragility and strength in one glance. Karl Lagerfeld, who made her the face of Chanel in the 1990s, often described Tennant as pure modernity. She embodied the kind of British eccentricity and refinement that fascinated him. Mario Testino, Nick Knight, and David Sims also captured her in.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.